You're standing in the school parking lot and your heart lifts when you see your child walking toward you, backpack slung over one shoulder, head tilted the same way it's always tilted since they were itty bitty. You wave, smiling, but they don't wave back. They slide into the passenger seat without making eye contact. Their answers are short. Their phone becomes the shield between you. The child who once jumped into your arms with giant hugs now feels incredibly distant. You try to ask about their day, about their art project that you helped them with last week, about the friend that they mentioned. They shrug it all off with short answers. It's fine. Went well. They're cool. You try to continue the conversation. I've missed chatting with you this week. And then almost casually they say, Dad said you get angry a lot. Those words sting. Your heart sinks. You try to explain gently, that's not true, honey. But you can see it in their eyes. They don't believe you. That's the moment that it hits you. You're losing your child to a story that someone else is writing. Welcome back to the Covert Narcissism podcast, where we talk about the quiet devastation of watching your own child turn away and the hope that you carry that still lives underneath that. Parental alienation is what happens when a covert narcissist turns your own child against you, slowly, quietly, and effectively sometimes. It's the moment you realize that your greatest fear, what if they turn my kids against me, is not just a fear anymore, but it's becoming a reality. Today, we're going to unpack what parental alienation really is, how it happens, and what you can do to protect your peace and hold on to that hope, even when it feels impossible. You see, parental alienation is not just a custody battle term. It's not just about custody issues. In fact, it doesn't even only happen in a divorce situation. It can happen within your own home. This is psychological warfare that's centered around your children. Your children are pawns caught in a game of chess that they don't even know about. It happens when one parent manipulates a child into rejecting, distrusting, resenting the other parent. And it isn't about that child's relationship with that parent. It's about the other parent's words and perspectives. It's not always blatant and obvious, though sometimes it is. It can be so subtle and actually even disguised at concern. It can be as clear as a covert narcissist saying, your mom's crazy, or your dad is impossible. But it may be more hidden. It may sound like, I worry about your mom. She seems overwhelmed again. You know how stressed she gets. Or, your dad loves you, but he doesn't really understand you like I do. Those more subtle comments can seem harmless at first. And the covert narcissist will definitely defend them as actually being caring and supportive. I was just voicing my concern for you. However, what they do is they build walls in your child's heart, brick by brick, walls between them and you. The covert narcissist doesn't need to shout or openly accuse, although they do that sometimes. They just need to plant seeds of doubt and then water them with guilt and sympathy. Don't you think your mom worries too much? Add to this that when dealing with a covert narcissistic parent, a child feels obligated to agree with them, just like we did. We felt like we had no choice but to agree with them on whatever they said because the cost was too high. Your child feels that way too. So how does this play out? What's the result? Your child starts viewing you through the narcissist lens, and you start fading from their trust. We've talked before about how a covert narcissist controls the narrative. They work to control the story about you, okay? They work to control what others think of you, and not just you, but the kids as well, and themselves as well. They really work hard to control that narrative because that's how they control the environment. That's how they, continue to make themselves superior to those around them. They manipulate this story to where they always look good and you always look smaller or inferior to them. They thrive in the chaos that this creates, and it keeps everyone focused on them, coming to them for advice or help, or looking to them to figure out what's really going on here, or just simply talking to them about the very drama that they are creating, but they do it in such an insidious way that it doesn't look like they are. They might play the victim. I wish your mom didn't hate me so much. And that can sound genuine and sincere, and they will defend it that it is, but what it's doing in the kid's eyes is making you the hater. They might say something like, your dad doesn't like it when I try to help. And suddenly your child feels like they have to comfort the covert narcissist. They have to protect them from you. They might do it through subtle character assassination. They'll use phrases like, your mom gets really emotional sometimes. Again, this can sound harmless, but it's not. It's laying a foundation and a perspective into your kid's eyes that's coming through their lens. They might say, your dad doesn't really understand you like I do. Again, laying the foundation for the child to doubt that parent. It sounds small, but in repetition, it starts shaping the belief of that child. And they triangulate, which I've talked about that here recently. They'll say things like, tell your mom she needs to stop being late. Well, that's not your child's place. That's not the child's spot is not in between the parents in that regard. They're not the messenger. They might say, ask your dad why he doesn't want to come to your game. And the child becomes this go-between, forced to carry emotional messages back and forth. They might reward loyalty and punish independence, and you know this feeling because they did this to you within the marriage as well. When you're loyal to them, they reward that, okay? Now you get the affection and the praise. But when you voice your own opinions, when you like something that they don't like, well, that's when you get punished, okay? They pull away from you. So when the child aligns with them, supports them, agrees with them, they get that approval, validation, affection, praise, attention. But when they show love toward you and they align with you, they get guilt, withdrawal, accusations. So they learn love one parent quietly, okay? They love you behind closed doors, but they need to please the other parent loudly, like they need to do that publicly. And so this child is trapped in that in-between world where they don't belong in that in-between world. Their love for you and their love for the other parent should not be a competition. But that's what it is often when you're dealing with a covert narcissistic parent. Another thing that the covert narcissistic parent does is rewrite history. And we all know this. You already are aware of this, okay? That's where gaslighting comes in, and they manipulate the perceptions of others. This goes back to controlling the narrative. They distort stories just enough to make you look unstable. Remember how your mom ruined Christmas that year? Well, no, your child's focused on Christmas and how much they enjoy Christmas morning. And all of a sudden now they're thinking about how mom ruined Christmas that year when maybe all that happened was breakfast was 5 minutes late. Or they might say your dad got so mad that time that you spilled the milk. Now that child's relationship with dad might be just fine, and it's not about the milk or his reaction to the milk. They're building a good, healthy relationship, but instead now they're focused on dad's anger. So they turn normal human moments into proof of your flaws, and they make that the focus of the child's attention. It's slow, subtle, and sometimes devastatingly effective. It interferes with your child's ability to see their own reality, to hold on to their own perspectives, and to have their own relationship with you that's not centered around the covert narcissist. But in the world with a covert narcissist, everything has to be centered around them. Everybody's attention has to be on them. This is just another way that plays out, but it's a very painful way. Because the result is you start losing your child in little pieces. Their tone changes. They stop sharing with you. They become distant. They might even become hostile. You try to explain yourself to them, but that only seems to make it worse. You stay calm. You choose your words carefully. And somehow, every word gets twisted. It's like being erased while still standing there. So what happens? You start questioning your own reality. Did I say something wrong? Am I too emotional? Am I expecting too much? Am I feeding into this? This is part of the manipulation too. Covert narcissistic abuse gets inside you, not just alienating your child, but alienating you from your own confidence as a parent. Now you're doubting yourself. Now you're second guessing yourself. Now you're walking on eggshells with your own child. So one parent is playing chess with your child's mind while you're trying to play catch with their heart. And every time you reach out, maybe you feel them pulling away just a little further. It's not sadness. This is terror. It's not even grief. It's devastating. Because the one person you love more than anything is being used as a weapon against you. And the world around you, they don't necessarily see it. Sometimes some of them do, but a lot of times they don't. They say things to you like, don't badmouth your ex, don't talk about your ex to to your kids. They say kids just need time. And there's some truth to that, but boy, that's painful. But they don't see the manipulation that's dripping between every text, every exchange, every moment of silence, every spoken word. Now, children, just like all of us, are wired for survival, and they gravitate towards the person who feels safest. But you do need to know something here, that to a child that's caught in this battle, caught in this, crossfire that's going on here, the fog of manipulation, safest often means the least emotionally risky. And I want you to think about this for a minute. When dealing with a covert narcissistic parent, the smallest emotional risk often comes when they are in alignment with that parent. Disagreeing with them is just too risky. We just talked about all of that. They get the reward, they get the peace with that parent when they're in agreement with them. Sometimes that's why that's playing out that way. If showing love for you upsets the narcissistic parent, the child learns to suppress it. If disagreeing with the narcissistic parent leads to punishment, the child learns to comply. They're not rejecting you because they stopped loving you. They're rejecting you because that love feels too dangerous. And I want you to understand this. While we still got to figure out what to do about it, it is important that we understand it. So please hear me. This is not your fault. This is not something that you caused. You're trying to parent in the middle of a psychological warfare that's designed to make you doubt yourself and designed to keep your kid trapped in the middle. Now, what do? You can't out-manipulate a manipulator. Okay, we rely on compassion. We rely on honesty. We will rely on genuineness. You can't prove your innocence to a child who's being emotionally groomed. But what you can do, you can create stability that endures long after those lies fall apart. And here's how. You need to stay steady, be predictable, calm, kind, not reactive, truthful, but gentle. Even when they reject you, don't mirror that chaos back to them. Don't mirror the chaos that they are living from the narcissistic parent. Your stability becomes the contrast that eventually exposes this dysfunction. I also encourage you to demonstrate, don't defend. When we defend ourselves, we already look guilty. The very act of defending makes us look like we did something that deserves to be defended against. You do not have to fight every false accusation. Instead, live your truth. Let your character speak for itself. Let your actions prove who you are. Your kids see you. They know where they're loved and where they're not. They know where they matter and where they don't. They know it long before they're able to verbalize it. It is going to take time, but let your character speak for itself. Maintain gentle contact with them. A short text, a funny meme, a simple I love you, how's your day going? You're keeping a thread of connection alive without pulling it too hard. Make that relationship with you and that child about you and that child. Okay? And let your child be the central character of their own life. So when you're talking to them, it's about them. It's about their world. It should be. Okay? It's about their friendships. It's about their schoolwork. It's about their dreams, their hopes. You are the parent and you are nurturing the life of a child. Along the way, please protect your sanity. Keep records of what's going on. Yes, absolutely. I encourage documenting and journaling. But don't let this fight consume your soul. You can be the safe parent only if you stay safe within yourself. So work on that path of healing. All of these different podcast episodes, find a therapist, get in with a coach. I'm here and I'm available. You can be the safe parent, but only if you stay safe within yourself. And like I've talked about before, shift from what if to even if. What if they never see the truth? Change that to even if they don't see the truth right now. Truth has a long memory. Instead of what if they never come back, you can say, even if they stay distant, I'll keep loving them from here. What if this damage lasts forever? You can say, even if it takes years, healing is still possible. Now, if your child has gone no contact, I want you to know that I see you. I see that pain. I know it's real, and I know it hurts. I want you to know within your heart that they are still connected to you. They're still there. They may not show it, but the love that you poured into them is still a part of them. Those bedtime stories, those hugs, that laughter, those memories still live in their body. And no amount of manipulation can erase that completely. They may not be ready to see you now, but one day, when the performance of the covert narcissist begins to crack, they will remember what peace felt like. They will remember that love wasn't supposed to feel like walking on eggshells. And when that day comes, you will be ready. You will be there, calm, open, and standing in your own truth and your own character. Parental alienation is one of the most devastating forms of emotional abuse. It robs children of security, and it robs parents of connection. It's grief with no funeral and love with no landing place. But remember this, your influence does not end just because your access does. Keep showing up for your own healing. Keep living a life of integrity and peace, because every moment you do, you are modeling the very thing that your child will one day crave: authenticity, calmness, peace, unconditional love. So keep the light on for them, stay grounded, and whisper to yourself, even if they turn my kids against me, I will still be here and be the love that they're looking for when they're ready to find it again. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. The information provided by Renee Swanson, Covert Narcissism Podcast, and CNG Life Coaching is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes. It is not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. Renee shares stories from her personal experience as well as from those that she has worked with for several years. Her material does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support an allegation or support a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and the information provided. Thank you.